Ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba.
Hey, welcome back to my art studio. I'm Jarrett, and this is another episode of Draw Every Day with JJK. We're talking all things Star Wars this week because I'm getting ready for the publication of Jedi Academy at Last Jedi. This is the final Jedi Academy book. It all started with Jeffrey Brown's Jedi Academy books way back in the day, and he had this great trilogy starring Roan, and then I created a trilogy starring Victor Starspeeder. But there was so much interest in his sister Christina that she got her own trilogy, which started with Revenge of the Sith. Now, a little fun fact for you, The Principal Strikes Back, which was the last book in the Victor Starspeeder trilogy, has the exact same timeline as Revenge of the Sith, which is the very first book for Christina. Now, in the Victor Starspeeder trilogy, we meet Christina. She's Victor's older sister. She's studious. She's serious. She has no patience for her brother, but she helps him whenever she can. Because of everything that Amy Ignatow brought to the table, she was really able to make Christina a more fully formed character. You know, brave on the outside, self-doubt on the inside. And that's what I love about these books, is that you can have the graphic novel pages to show what's really happening, and then you can have the characters' journal pages to talk about what they're really thinking about and what's going on inside their heads. So the final book, At Last Jedi, is coming out a week from today. Today's Tuesday, and 1 week from today, this book will be on bookshelves. Unless, of course, you're watching this on Wednesday, and it will be on bookshelves in 6 weeks. 6 days. No, 6 days. Some fuzzy math there. But if you were watching on Thursday, you'd only have 5 days to wait. If you're watching this video over the weekend, you only have a couple days. If you're watching this video next Tuesday, this book comes out today. Or if you're watching this book anytime after that, this book is already out. But if you're watching this video the day that it's published, we have 1 week to go for At Last Jedi, which ties up the entire Starspeeder saga. So I tried to connect with Amy Ignatow yesterday. We had some technical difficulties. So I'm going to patch in Amy now, and we're going to tell you all about how we collaborated on these books. Okay? Amy? Amy, can you hear me?
I'm so excited to talk with you about Jedi Academy today. The circumstances could not be better for us to have a nice long chat about what's going on in the world of Christina Starspeeder. And I'm absolutely certain that we shall run into no technical difficulties
Okay, Amy Ignatow's tech isn't working. We'll circle back tomorrow, and maybe we could have that conversation for you then, so we can tell you all about Christina Starspeeder. But in the meantime, why don't I show you how I draw Christina Starspeeder? All right, so like always, I start off with just a couple of shapes, and just like when I drew Victor, I started with an upside down onion. Well, you know what? Don't like how high that was. I want to center it a little more. I start with an upside down onion. Yeah, it's still too high. Now, Christina and Victor are siblings, so they have a lot of similar physical features. Starting with that upside down onion head. And then I draw a teardrop for the body. And then I figure out where the character's arms, legs, and arms go. And I want this character to be, I want her to be holding her saber and then using the Force with her hand to ward off some big old bad Sith. I want her to have a confident and strong stance with her feet. And again, I'm going to put that plus sign on the head to figure out where the character's arms, the character's eyes, and nose and mouth go. Now, when I was designing the look of Christina Starspeeder some years ago, I knew that I wanted to give her some kind of cool, funky hair, because the Star Wars universe is filled with so many interesting hairstyles. So she has these two cones on either side, and they're kind of like ponytails, but they're cones. So she has her Jedi robes, her Jedi boots. Now I'll take out my ink and I will drip a little bit of indie ink in here. This is the kind of ink we professional cartoonists use. Just know that it's super permanent, and if it spills, it will be in your rug forever. So that's why I have dedicated space to use my indie ink. But I draw with a brush because you get a very dynamic line when you draw with a brush. And you apply a lot of pressure, that line will be thick. You apply just the slightest bit of pressure, that line will be very thin. So from thick to thin with just the flick of your wrist. As I'm outlining, I'm leaving a space for where the lightsaber blade will come up. Because where I'm outlining the character, when I draw the blade of the lightsaber, I like to define that just by using color. Now, the one thing that was tricky in designing this character, because she has those cones that are really wide, can make it very complicated to compose the scene and figure out where all the pieces are going to go. Meaning when you have a bunch of characters standing in one cramped small space. Okay, now that I have it all inked in, I'm going to want to have the ink be totally dry before I start adding color. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. Oh, also, I need to erase all of these pencil marks. I definitely want the ink dried before I try to erase those pencil marks. Otherwise, the ink's going to go everywhere. So I'm going to grab my blow dryer. All right, now it does seem as all is dry. I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and shape it and get rid of those pencil marks. This part always makes me really nervous because I don't want the ink to get all smeared up. I have my picture ready to be painted. I'm going to start by adding just the local colors. Again, the local colors are just the very basic colors of the character's clothes, any props, their skin color. And that light will then fluctuate depending on the light and shadow. Now, in order to help give my character some life, to really breathe some life into a character, you want to add just a little bit of red to their cheeks and to their nose. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you the illusion of there being just blood flowing right underneath their skin. Now the shadows. I don't use black or gray paint for the shadows. I create color mixing some blues, some purples, some browns. And before I add in the shadows though, let me consider the light source. So here the light source is going to be the character's lightsaber. Color, so that yellow saber is going to be projecting some color, some of that yellow onto the character. Now for the shadow, I'm going to mix some blue and purple and brown. And there you have it. There she is, Christina Starspeeder, star of Jedi Academy at Last Jedi, which if you're watching this today, Tuesday, April 14th, publishes 1 week from today. If you are not, then the book publishes in a couple days. Or if you're watching this video even later, you're super behind on these things, Jedi Academy at Last Jedi is now on bookshelves. But really, not until a week from April 14th. So, we're into Star Wars theme. No one is getting more into it than the pugs. Let's check in with the pug cam. See, I told you the pugs were taking this seriously. They've been Jedi training and everything. Well, I know we usually, around now, we check in with my author-illustrator friends, but I thought instead, today, I could have a conversation with my Snap Wexley action figure. You met him in The Force Awakens. General Leia instructs him to fly and save the world. So, Snap Wexley, how you doing today? Oh, I'm good, Jarrett. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Well, Snap Wexley, I know that you're a busy action figure. I'm grateful that you took this time to chat with us. Oh, well, either I'm just sitting on there on your shelf with all of the other action figures that you have. This is fun, but I think it would be more exciting to actually speak to the actor Greg Grunberg, who portrayed Snap Wexley in the actual movies. So we're gonna call into Greg Grunberg, who he has this great graphic novel series. He's not just a talented actor and a podcaster, and he does so many great things with multimedia, but he's also an author of this graphic novel series called Dream Jumper. And it's, imagine if you could jump into your friend's dreams to help save the day. And so Greg is going to patch in Lucas Turnbloom, who is the amazing illustrator who brings these books to life. Let's give him a call. Greg and Lucas, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks, Jared. Okay, so I really have very little to do with the actual drawing. We'll talk about the concept of, the idea of everything. But what I love is that art is taking things to the next step. So, Lucas and I'll talk about something, but then it's really Lucas it's really you, Lucas, who becomes so creative and surprises me with how beautiful it is. I'll let you take it away. I'm going to put myself into a little box here in the corner and let you show everybody how we draw one of our characters. What are you drawing?
I'm going to draw Louis the Rabbit. Everybody loves the rabbit.
Okay, well, let me find Lucas the Rabbit in here. Oh, here we go. Here's a little picture of Lucas the Rabbit. Here, let me go back to this. Here, you guys can see. There's Lucas. There's our rabbit. And now Lucas is going to show you how to draw our rabbit.
Right on.
All right.
Oh, awesome. All right, so what I do is I start with basic shapes. So we go in and Louis has got a
show it a little bit straight forward because I can't see it.
You see, so right now I've got it traced in there with pencil. So I'm going to go over with the permanent marker so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So I start with just a big old circle for the head. And then once I get that down, we'll draw here. He's got kind of like these little triangle whiskers here on the side. These kind of oval-shaped eyes here. And the one thing to remember when you're drawing is almost everything we do can be broken down into shapes. So like I said, we got a big old circle for the head. We've got ovals for the eyes and these triangles here for the whiskers. Can you guys still see it?
I can see it. Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Lucas. When you're
Yeah.
drawing something like this, let's say you made a mistake right now. Like, I don't consider anything a mistake, right? So you can always, like, if something wasn't perfect, do you freak out about it, or you just keep going?
No, absolutely not. Because anything can be fixed, unless of course I dump ink all over, which I have done, and I have those pages still for Dream Jumper, ink all over. I was almost done with one. I was so mad. But no, for the most part, you just keep going. And, because sometimes, like Bob Ross, famous painter, he says, happy little accidents. Something that you may not have intended might turn out to be the best part of the page.
Right.
So you just keep going. So right now we're going to do like these weird kind of almost rectangle shapes for the ears. A couple little spiky triangle shapes for the hair. Another ear over here.
Wait a minute. What did I do?
Triangle shape for the nose.
Wait. Go back to that. Go back. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we'll draw the little, almost these rectangular weird shapes here for the ears. Go back over this one here, and then we'll draw this. There's a triangle shape for the nose, and then we draw a little line up for the smile.
This seems pretty easy. Watching you do it.
Yeah, it's simple. It's no problem at all. It does take a little work. It took a while. I don't know if you remember. It took a while to get to this point. So
yeah.
And so it looks easy because I've been drawing it for so long, but it does take a lot of practice. And we'll give him some nice rabbit teeth here. And finish his jaw, and then we'll give kind of a rectangular shape for the arm. Go around here. He's gonna have his little hands on his waist. Round shape for the belly here. Another arm over here.
You know what I think is really cool is that watching you draw this, when you see it in a book, the pictures really, they're just already formed, fully formed, and you know exactly what you're looking at, and it seems like it's really hard to do. And I know it's not easy, but I love watching you do this because mine's not going to look as good as that, but at least I'll try. I mean, this is really fun. Drawing is fun.
Yeah, and one of the really cool things about when you're doing a graphic novel is a lot of times people think you just go right to the page and just start drawing. But artists will take a page like this and they'll draw little tiny rectangles, and they'll draw the scenes for the page really small and really quick. They're called thumbnail sketches. And we did several of those for both of the Dream Jumper books. And it's very sketchy, it's very quick, and you get a lot of really cool ideas doing that. So whenever you see a book, know that the author and the artist go through a lot of time just to get to that one page. It takes a lot of time.
Now, stop for a second. I want to let everybody know we kind of skipped over. So Dream Jumper is about a boy who is able to jump in and out of his friends' dreams and save them from their worst nightmares. So imagine you guys, if when you go to sleep, when you dream, when you fall into a deep sleep and you start dreaming, you actually fall into your friend's dreams. And your friend is a basketball player and he's playing Michael Jordan, and you're able to help him win that game, or some situation and then in the morning you wake up and you're like, wow, I just saved my 3 friends, or I was able to jump in their dreams and help them or enjoy their dreams or whatever. It's this kid just like you guys that is a dream jumper. So I just want to let everybody know just what you're looking at. And this character, tells a little bit about our rabbit.
Okay, without getting too spoilery, very much like Alice in Wonderland, he leads Ben on a journey into the dream world. Ben, when he gets there, he knows that something's special about this place, but he doesn't really know what to do there. So he needs a guide. So the White Rabbit shows up. But like I said, without spoilers, it's a very important character in the book. And a lot of people get to the end and they're like, what? No way.
We have some
so I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't read it, but it's really cool.
That's been the most fun I know for you and for me, is the two of us getting together and just letting our imaginations go, and no pun intended or pun intended, dreaming up what could happen with these characters. Anybody out there that's watching this, if you're not an artist, that's okay. pair up with an artist. It's great to work with people. I know Lucas does a lot of stuff on his own. I do stuff on my own, writing, but there's nothing more fun than getting together with somebody that you love and somebody that you get along with. I mean, Lucas and I have become really, really, really close friends, and it's because we just have so much fun working together. Creating something, whether it's art or a book or anything, is so much fun. So try it, because it's great, and it just brings friends together.
Absolutely. And that's the best way to do it. I mean, like you said, if you can't draw, find somebody who can. Find a good friend who can. You know, you can be your brother, sister, it can be a parent, it can be anybody, you know. And if you draw but don't write, same thing. Find somebody who can write. Find a friend who can write. I mean, it's we've had so much fun over the past, I don't know how many years, 10 years we've been working on these books.
Yeah.
It is such a joy, and it is such a way to bring out the creativity and in ways that other things, you know, it's amazing. And we've had such a blast doing it.
Let me ask you, because you're so good at it, go to a blank page real quick.
Okay.
And just with eyes, okay, just draw happy eyes.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna, like I said, we start with the shapes. So I'm gonna try to do it here so you guys can see it. Hopefully you can see it. So I always draw the nice big, when I'm drawing cartoons, I draw nice big eyes, and then I'll draw almost like a half circle, like a long C kind of. And then I'll stop, and then I'll draw a little line underneath it for like the cheeks. When you smile, it kind of comes up into your eyes. So and then I'll draw a little circle here for the pupil, and then I'll do it again over here.
Okay. Already they look awesome. I love it.
We go up like this, and then we give the eyebrow, it's kind of raised. Draw a little circle for the nose down here. And then we'll draw, you know, a nice smiley face right here.
I love it.
And that's basically how I give happy eyes.
Okay.
Like
Now let's do, on the next page, let's do the exact opposite, like sad eyes or angry eyes. What do you think?
Okay, let's do angry eyes. So this is kind of tricky. So what I do is I don't draw the full circle. I'll draw two little lines, kind of like, almost like parentheses. And then I'll come in with the eyebrow and give it almost like a little swoop, kind of like Nike, the Nike symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll complete it up here. And then I'll draw that cheek right here.
And already I can see that they're angry or mad eyes. That's so cool. That's so easy.
And one of the best ways to, if you're an artist and you're trying to get this expression down, is to have a little mirror on your table and you make faces. I got this from an old Disney, the Wonderful World of Disney programs, where they were showing how the artists they would have their drafting table and they would look in the mirror and they would make all these faces, you know, happy, mad, you know. And that's one of the ways I do it, is I'm like, well, how would that expression look? You know, I know what it is, but how would I draw it? And I taught that trick to one of my kids, and he took my little mirror, so I need to get another mirror.
But that's really, really smart, because you know exactly the emotion and how angry you want the look to do. And normally when we tell people what we're looking for, we'll act it out. We'll make that face.
Right.
So to make that face in the mirror and then hold that face and try and sketch those little details. Look at that. Look at that. Lucas, you should do this for a living.
I would love to.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And then if you want to give him kind of like I'm angry, but I'm frustrated, you can give him eyelids, and it kind of just gives him a little bit of a.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. See, that's awesome. See, I would never think to draw the eyelids just right on top of the eyes. I'd be like, oh, I can't. I've already got the eyebrows, so I can't. But it's true when you think about it. The eyelids are below the eyes. I mean, eyelids are below the eyebrows. So why not just draw them right there? That looks so awesome, dude.
Yeah. And
I love that.
Thank you. And
hey, Jarrett, we're gonna call this one Jarrett. Okay. And for everybody that's out there, thank you. Remember, it's called Dream Jumper, and there's 2 books in the series. One's called Nightmare Escape, and the other is called Curse of the Harvester. And that's how you draw, right?
Right. That's how it's done.
Awesome.
And it takes practice, but keep at it. It's a lot of fun, and you'll get a lot of happiness out of it. I guarantee it.
Jarrett, thank you for having us on. I'm Greg Grunberg. That's Lucas Turnbloom.
And keep drawing, guys.
Keep drawing. Have fun.
And
Thanks,
keep
Jarrett.
reading. Thanks, Jarrett.
Well, that was Greg and Lucas from Dream Jumpers. This is Snap Wexley, who is an action figure, not the human being who writes the Dream Jumper books, who also portrayed this character in the Star Wars movies. How cool to have an actor who was in the movies chatting with us. Just the best. Now, at the end of the show, let's get some family draw time in.
Family draw time!
All right, everyone, welcome Darth Lucy to the show.
Hi.
So we are going to be drawing with masks and doing self-portraits. I got a little mirror right here so we can see ourselves. All right. Today we happen to have masks that also make noise. So Lucy, Darth Lucy?
Yeah.
What color would you like? I think she's brown. All right. Let's do this. How's it going, Darth Lucy?
Good.
Oh, we're gonna turn the mouse back on. How's it going, Darth Lucy?
Don't touch my head.
Don't make me destroy you.
Oh my. Okay.
All right, let's show them our artwork. This is me as a Wookiee.
This is me as Dark.
Lucy Vader. Darth Lucky, would you like to say anything to the audience? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Grown-ups, check the website for information on how you can send your kids artwork. In the meantime, check out the awesome artwork that was sent in. Bye!
Bye. Please click like and subscribe and keep drawing. See you soon!